What is up? Carter here. Got a random video for you. We are going to be taking a look at a horror collectible right here. This is a Trick or Treat Studios Nightmare on Elm Street 4 reproduction glove. It is designed by Anders Ericsson. He used to kind of make his own custom gloves. Under the name Nightmare Gloves, I believe, is who he used to operate under. Now, this is a little bit of hearsay. I understand that he ran into some problems with orders. A lot of people were upset when he was kind of doing his own thing. And he has a lot of things he still has to fulfill from back then. My assumption is that he got an offer from Trick or Treat Studios to be a designer or sculptor on their side, and kind of gave up and abandoned kind of his personal following, which kind of sucks. I didn't realize that when I bought this. I don't know if it would have affected it, but anyways, I got it anyways. So what you guys want to know is it worth the money? Is the quality good? Should I pick this up if this is something you're interested in? And what I will say is I would say yes, it's worth the money. However, you can buy a much better custom glove from some of these new makers for around the same price and possibly even less money. Either Burning Creations or Flaming Creations. I forget which one it is. Burning, Flaming. This dude is creating custom gloves at rock bottom prices. He just did a Black Friday sale, and it's crazy. $150. You can get yourself something similar to this, but it's all custom handmade. Now, that being said, you're going to wait 5-6 months for this glove. A lot of people want it. He's doing it part-time, so the wait time is pretty far out there. So the benefit of something like this, although the quality isn't as good, it's not as cool, is that you can get it and it'll ship and you'll have it in, however many days, and you don't have to wait. There's no custom processing, anything like that. So keep that in mind. Now let's get into a little bit more detailed review here. So this is one of the things where from a distance it looks really cool sitting on your shelf. All the things are kind of where they need to be. It looks pretty good. When you get up closer, it will start to, you'll see the telltale signs. For instance, the biggest one is the solder drips right there. So obviously those are not real solder drips. You can kind of see, I don't know if it's actually indented in the back. Let's take a look here. Looks like it is. So it was placed, presumably the metal was placed on a clamp, and they just clamped out the impression of this design, and then they sand it down to make it look like steel instead of copper. So that also means that I'm assuming that this is not a copper plate and that it's actually steel, even though it looks like copper. So here's the lesson, guys. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. I'm not an expert on Trick or Treat Studios, how they manufactured this. I'm trying to guess how they did it myself. I'm assuming that these are not real solder marks, but I could be wrong. Maybe they are. They just don't really look like it. But like I said, this does look like a real copper plate. And obviously this is a different color, so I don't know if they electroplated it or how they did it. But the point is, it doesn't come across as real solder. You can see on this edge right here, it's just a design either stamped or something on there. There's not a separation between the solder and the surface underneath. So you're just not going to get those details. Obviously it's a mass-produced glove, and I think there's some confusion because they see Anders Ericsson's name on this and they assume that he's like hand making these for Trick or Treat Studios. That is absolutely not the case. This is made in China. So he did the sculpt, and I assume he oversaw the manufacture process, the proofing, things like that. But this is a mass-produced glove under his direction. So keep that in mind. So similarly, a lot of the details are just going to be off. The paint application is very methodical. You can see how it's just a little too clean compared to like a custom glove, but it still looks good. So, keep that in mind. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying these are the things you're going to notice. Now, this red here, I'm not sure if these are actually brazed on and that this red is naturally occurring from the brazing process or if it's paint. That's actually a good sign. If you can't tell the difference, that means it's, close enough that it should be good. We've got steel blades. You You can see the discoloration of where they were attached, so that's good. You know, these are not press fit in there or something like that. They are actually attached to the fingers. These are not sharpened, obviously, but they are real steel. Everything on here is good quality material for the most part. Thick gauge copper pieces on here. Overall, very, very nice. Looks very cool. One other complaint I would do is the leather glove. So this is real leather. However, it's not like a real leather glove, if that makes sense. So if you get a custom glove, they're going to take an actual leather working glove and they're going to convert it into this, just like they did for the movies. This looks like it was manufactured for this glove. You know, like I said, it's really thin. As you can see right there, a real working glove would not be that thin. This is more decoration leather. And also the fact that it's actually brown, because really these should be kind of that yellowish color, and then you dirty it up and you stain it to make it that kind of brown that you think you're seeing in the movie. But really it's a yellow glove that just has coloration to it. This is not. This is just brown, thin brown leather. You can see right here it's not yellow, so it's not an actual workman's glove, but it has all the details. It looks the part. It seems to be strong enough so that it'll withstand any sort of use that you're going to do with this, costuming and playing around with it, things like that. All the fingers, none of them are tight. They all move really well. Part of the reason I didn't put this on for you guys, although actually maybe I will, it is kind of hard for me to put on. I've got giant hands. You know, they're not thick, like my fingers aren't like sausage fingers, but I have really long fingers and I have like a really wide palm. And a lot of these gloves are kind of medium size is what they're aimed for, especially if you get the good reproduction gloves. They're going to be reproduced as though they fit on Robert Englund's hand. And my hands are way bigger than his. So I do kind of struggle getting certain gloves on. I can get this one on, so I'll show you guys what it looks like on and kind of move the fingers around and give you a view into that. And then also maybe show you this really crappy stand that I made, that I hacked together. All right, guys, just one sec. Okay, here we go. Here is the glove on. As you can see, it fits pretty well. And I said it was like a medium-sized glove, but really, I would say that's a little bit larger. You can see I've got pretty good range of motion. Sounds really good. Everything moves really well. You know, overall for 200 bucks, it's a pretty good deal. You're just kind of missing some of the overt details you might see. The finger ringlets are wide, which is a common thing with these, so you do have some slop there, some play. If you've got shorter fingers, you may struggle with this pinky hitting that ring. Mine barely hits it, and like I said, I've got pretty long fingers, but it's a very serviceable glove. Looks cool, and like I said, the best benefit is that you can order these and you'll have them to your door in 4 or 5 days as opposed to waiting months and months for a custom one. But man, the custom ones do kind of give you that, just that cooler kind of feel to them, and you get to choose from a lot more types of gloves. Like I said, that Burning Creations or Flaming Creations, he does gloves that a lot of makers don't even do. Like you can get some really obscure ones, gloves that were only featured in like a promo, poster, articles, things like that. Gloves that were never actually used, just kind of designed or theorized. You can go really far down the rabbit hole on those. Like I mentioned, let me show you my crappy little stand here. So I bought this off of Amazon, just a mannequin hand. This one's pretty big. It's almost the size of my hand. So because of that, in order to actually get the glove in, because when you put the glove on, you've got to kind of pinch your fingers to get it through, which this is all spread out. I had to cut the thumb off. I had to cut little slits in here so that these could bend so that I could get it through. So I had to hack this up quite a bit, but it doesn't look too bad when the glove's actually on there. The fact that the thumb's missing, you can't even really tell. It has a hole in the bottom, and then I created just a cheap little stand that I stained, put a dowel through a decorative like fence cap, and fits right on top there. Nothing too fancy. It was kind of more of an experiment. In the future, I may do more intensive colors and tagging and things like that. But anyway, so Trick or Treat Studios. I didn't plan on this video being this long, but it is. Trick or Treat Studios, Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 4, reproduction glove right here. All right, guys, take it easy. I'm out.